What's up, everyone? So I was watching a Camera Conspiracies video this morning. I've been watching him for a couple months, and interestingly, he was in Thailand for a very long time, which I'm currently in Thailand, and he just moved back to, I think it's somewhere in Canada, Toronto or something. And I thought it was so noteworthy, and I thought it was a good blog topic that he didn't have any problems as he was walking around with his blogs and in Thailand. No problems whatsoever. Everyone just seemed to leave him alone. You know, just sort of like they should be. And I wrote an article about this for a real estate podcast, website about a month ago, and it's about, the topic today is about like how people try to stop photographers and of course videographers nowadays, especially in the more Western style countries. I think what's been happening is there's just a real paranoia, and I want to discuss, is that paranoia founded? Is it okay? So in the Camera Conspiracies recent video, he came back to Canada from Thailand, and the first thing that sort of hits him when he gets back there, he makes his first blog, and the thing that really jumped out at me and sort of the impetus for this particular blog is two people stopped him during his blog, and one of them was on the street. It was just a woman who stopped him and told him, you know, I don't want to be on your camera. And in general, I think that's a reasonable request, and that's what we're going to get in here and talk about, if that's reasonable. And then the other person who stopped him was a security guard inside of a mall, which I think is obviously a lot more reasonable, and you know, it's fine. Saudi cop. So let's tackle that first scenario he had with the woman, and I'll go ahead and link that video of his so you can watch it and see what happened. But he was just walking on the street, and a woman came up to him and it confronted him pretty aggressively. And I want to sort of ask you guys, you know, this is opinion, and I'm going to have my opinion in this video, is that okay? And where I come down on this is, first of all, just because something is okay, like we all know it's okay, it's legal to film or to video or shoot pictures in a public street. We all know that's legal. But that doesn't necessarily make it right all the time. That doesn't mean you should jam that in people's face and just assume that you should be able to do that all the time, okay? Like, for example, if I took my camera and started videoing a bunch of 5-year-olds in a playground, like right in their face, that wouldn't be kosher, right? So we know what the law says, but then we also know that there are certain social mores that we have to, you know, it's just we have to obey by these mores. We don't want to, you know, we're human. We're all human, so we don't want to push anybody past these limits where we're obviously the ones out of line. But in my opinion, if you're making videos on the street, kind of like I'm doing right now here in Thailand, I don't think there's anything wrong with this, and I don't think people generally have a good argument in telling you to stop. And I'm going to take it even a further step than that, a step further, and I'm going to say, you know I have a lot of photographers as my audience, but so I wish this message could reach out further. But just imagine all the things that videographer, that vlogger could be doing. He could be out dealing drugs, he could be out getting in trouble, but he has this amazing hobby. It's photography, it's video, it's a great hobby. I would love it if my kids had this hobby, right? Instead of all the nefarious stuff they could be getting into. And so you have this situation where a person is confronting somebody on the street, and you gotta understand what that's gonna do to the psyche for the rest of their lives, much less if it happens to them multiple times, like 5, 6, 7 times that people confront them. That could change somebody's wiring in their brain for their entire life. Maybe the person doesn't want to go out with their camera anymore and, you know, take advantage of this great hobby that they're interested in. So I really think it's a disservice just as a member of society. Again, we're all humans. We all have to sort of just kind of, we all have to respect each other, and I think the respect goes both ways. So I don't want to be taking video of somebody's house and sitting there and shooting somebody's house with my camera at midnight, right? It might be legal, but I don't want to do that. And at the same time, I think the passerbys or the people that aren't doing the photography, they have to respect us as well. And I think it's really important, because you don't want to affect these people in such a negative way, these videographers who are just practicing an amazing hobby. This is just something beautiful, like say bike riding or, you know, synchronized swimming. You don't want to discourage them from that, from doing that. Again, potentially for the rest of their lives, they're going to have that feeling in the back of their head. Am I okay to be doing this? Am I okay to be taking out my camera? That's a horrible message to be sending people in society. And I really think if you do that, if you tend to do that, you're really the bad guy. Now again, there's lines we can cross pretty easily, right? Filming somebody's front door, their front yard when their kids are playing, that's a line. It might be legal, but it's a line you're definitely crossing. So I think the respect goes both ways. And I really don't think us as photographers, I think we're in the wrong when we just make it too simple and just say it's legal for us to video or take photos in the street, therefore everyone else is out of their minds. That's not correct either. That's disrespectful as well. So you have to there has to be a middle, a middle of the road there. It can't just be one way or the other. So we have to be respectful, and the real point of this blog is they have to be respectful too, right? I know there's a lot of stuff going on in society, but cameras are just simply not the enemy here. There's just no way. People with cameras are not the enemy. That just seems so apparent. And I realize a camera could potentially be used as a weapon in certain ways, but it's just, you cannot, that's what our countries, Canada, US, places like Western countries like this, that's what we're all about. The freedom for people to be able to get out there and express themselves. And I believe what's happening is that freedom that we have in our Western countries of people, the freedom, that's what our countries are based on, this freedom of being able to get out there and sort of pursue these things that'll make us happy and these interests that we have. And yet I'm in a country like Thailand that's supposedly, a little bit behind the times, but they're obviously, I feel, way ahead of us when it comes. I gotta watch out for these motorbikes, but they're way ahead of us when it comes. Nobody ever bugs me here. They don't do anything, they don't care. You got a camera, maybe they'll look at you a little strange, but nobody's ever bugging me there. Same with the camera conspiracy guy. He was fine when he was in Thailand. What happens right when he gets back to Canada? He gets confronted twice, all right? So I think we've got to really do some thinking. So yes, we really want to discourage those people who are tending to, without probably knowing it, or without probably knowing how much harm they could be doing, we want to discourage those people who are trying to stop folks from using cameras in public. This is a beautiful hobby. This is a beautiful pursuit, all right? There's a lot worse things people can be doing than carrying around cameras and making videos for whatever it might be for. Home videos, movies, whatever. So tell me what you think in the comments. To me, this is a really sort of topic that really hits home. I think people should be able to pursue that without having to have that sort of emotional baggage in their heads when they go out with their camera. Who wants that? Who wants to be constantly thinking about, what are these guys gonna say when I pull out my camera? That's a horrible thing to constantly have in the back of your head as a photographer, and yet that's what we have to deal with. So hopefully Western society will one day sort of come back. They're gonna have to go back in time almost to where a place like Thailand is. And Thailand, there's really no reservations here. Somebody's walking with a camera. It might be a little strange, but they're fine. Just let them go, laugh at them. Personally, I think the way it should be